Welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, where we are talking artists, albums, and everything music. Well, welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Mick and the Fat Man. Coming to you live from the Mick and the Fat Man studios. This is Series 4, episode number 12. And g'day, Mick. Happy rock and roll to you, sir. And how are you travelling?
Mate, as usual, mate, I'm nowhere near the microphone when you asked me that question. So now I am. Hello.
It's all right. You've moved into my sphere of influence.
Yes. One does what one can. I'm great. I'm still buzzing over. I really loved doing the last episode we did on Nick Cave, and I hope that certainly people have said to me, that they really enjoyed it, and I hope it opens up some people's eyes to have a listen to him, what he does this now.
You've been wandering around with half a woody for the last month after that bloody Nick Cave concert, haven't you?
I have. It was just fantastic.
Yep, fantastic, and good on you. All right, Mick, I think we'll just dive right in, and I would like you, sir, to reveal what is available inside the beautiful pink Globite travel bag with luxurious interior. What have you got for us this week, mate?
Isn't it a lovely bag? I feel so proud walking through the airport with this huge pink bag.
I know. Now, just hold on. Just be silent for a moment while I get you to open it up.
It's got that ring to it, that resonant ring. You know you're dealing with quality buckles.
Oh, yeah. they're top clicks.
Yeah, I can feel that woody again. Yeah, it's coming back. Okay, look, what we've got inside, you can see inside the bag, bands who changed their sound halfway through.
Oh.
Yeah. Look,
interesting.
Yeah, whether new band member, all sorts of bloody reasons, exposure to new styles, new drugs, or just a desire to make lots more money.
Sure.
Did somebody say disco? Bands sometimes change their sound dramatically mid-career. Today we're going to look at bands that changed their sound for a whole lot of reasons, why they did it, and the results.
All right, that's exciting. So we'll be looking at a few bands that are, without doubt, different to what they used to be.
Indeedy.
Sometimes not for the better.
Well, we were just having a chat before we started recording this episode, and I think for good or bad, Split Enz might come in for a mention.
Maybe. Anyway, Mick, I think we'll let's get stuck into it. I am going to, however, have to do a little bit of. All the news that is rock. All the news that is rock. All the news that is rock is here right now. That's right. A little bit of rock news is in the offing, and you'll be pleased to know, very pleased to know, that the Sex Pistols are getting back together for a concert. A couple of concerts without Johnny Rotten. I don't know how you do the Sex Pistols without Johnny Rotten, but they are. So Steve Jones, Paul Cook, and
Ronnie Biggs won't be joining them.
Oh.
I've just read the release. It said he apologises that he can't make it because he's dead.
That must be a big disappointment to them.
It would be.
So they're going to do. They're going to actually do the iconic "Nevermind the Bollocks" album. I don't know what other album they would do though.
Their album,
the album.
Yes,
it's written as if this was in what was it called, Loud or something like that, some magazine like that, and it says the band's iconic debut album. I've always referred to it as their final album myself,
or just their album.
Anyway, they're doing a couple of benefit shows, so that'll be very exciting.
Who's on the bill with them? REM?
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Who's the benefit for?
Frank Carter will step in for John Lydon. And Carter is a part-time tattooist, so that'll be handy. I mean, it kind of he could actually do as he's singing. He could tattoo himself or someone else, that sort of thing. Be handy, wouldn't it?
Onto his arm or his back or something. Yeah.
Or get members of the audience up. He could do Sex Pistols, sort of never mind the bollocks sort of things on their back.
Oh yes, he could tattoo a little yellow square on them, and then if they come to the next show, he could do never. Yes, they'd have to come to 5 shows to get never mind the bollocks on a yellow square.
Or you get X number of people and you go never, person number 2, mine.
Look, now it's getting creative, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you don't know the people, you're going to have to share your phone number so that if you ever want to, if anybody ever wants to see the actual band record on the back of someone, you've got to get all those people back together again to actually show their backs.
Wow. What if they broke it up into letters?
Now we're talking. Yeah. Now we are talking.
Yes. Hey, where's V? Who's got V?
I'm only E. Yeah, you're as common as anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of E's in that title.
So that's going to be exciting. Now, also in this magazine was an article about Ritchie Blackmore. I think what's Ritchie up to? Well, apparently I don't know whether he's written a book or he's done an interview or something like that, but he's recently detailed his why he stepped away from Deep Purple in the 90s to pursue traditional folk rock music of the band Blackmore's Night. So he got bored with the travel, and he got bored with being the iconic rock god in a world famous rock band.
I can think of nothing more boring.
Having to come up with riffs and stuff like that, I think it's called being a guitar player. I think that's what he got bored of. So anyway, he's he didn't really like all that. He left Deep Purple, then rebooted Rainbow. Remember he had Rainbow there for a while.
Mm.
But he decided to go right back to his roots, and him and his missus, Candice Knight, and now so they got the Blackmore's Night is the name of his album. And so they do a bit of that. Now, I've got a little bit of it here. It's YouTube. No, it's not that great a quality, but I just want to play a little bit of it. And you can hear Smoke on the Water in the background of it, I'm sure. You decide. So that
sounds more like Jethro Tull than Deep Purple.
Well, they talk about the pastoral links in this band. So, look, Ritchie's wandering around with a pair of Uggies strapped up with leather laces. So, and I figure he's got enough money he can do whatever he fucking likes, but it's just...
Yeah, we don't have to listen.
It's just... I just think, no, I don't want to be a rock singer anymore because, I had to keep coming up with riffs and I had to travel. So I've joined a band that clearly no one really likes because we go nowhere.
Unbelievable.
Anyway, so Ritchie Blackmore, good on you, mate. Look, Smoke on the Water is not the greatest rock song in living memory, but I think I'd rather see a concert with that in it than Blackmore's Night, somehow.
Well, the fact that 50 years later we can be here talking about Smoke on the Water, and every person who heard that, heard you say the word Smoke on the Water, had bam, bam, bam go through their mind, says that it's perhaps a little more than just a dumb piece of music.
Yeah, no, it's got energy and it's got longevity.
Yep.
Cyndi Lauper, 70.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
Has announced her farewell tour, the Girls Just Want to Have Fun Farewell Tour. How did she come up with that name?
It's creative, isn't it?
Girls Just Want to Have Fun Farewell Tour. It got me. October the 18th, it's going to kick off in Montreal, and she's doing a few places, doing New York, Boston, Nashville, Los Angeles, and it's all going to end on December the 5th. So Cyndi will be home for Chrissy.
Yeah, good.
That's good news, and that'll be the end of her.
So if she was going to do sort of a Kiss farewell tour, which sort of went on forever, then she could make it the Time After Time farewell tour.
She may do. She may. You got to feel there might be another farewell tour in her, don't you?
Yeah. Johnny Farnham used to make a career out of doing farewell tours, didn't he? Yeah.
Comebacks, indeed he did. Now, we talked about the Police last time being hotties back in the day.
Well, you did, indeed.
Well, oddly enough, they've got a 6 CD release of Synchronicity. Now, I wasn't that mad keen on the 1 CD, but have it on 6, you got to be happy as a pig in it, don't you? I've got Synchronicity on 6, and you know what it'll be there. It'll be someone halfway through a thing goes, I've got to go and do a poo. I've never noticed that on any other collection album.
Well, 6 CDs. You've got to fill it with something.
You got an hour on each CD. There's a lot of stuff to put in there. I don't know what you're going to put in the fucking thing. Anyway, so includes...
Maybe Ritchie Blackmore could help.
Ritchie Blackmore could.
Because Made in Japan managed to fill 2 albums with 4 songs.
With one being a drum solo. There's liner notes. There's rare archival memorabilia. Unseen band photographs from the era. So it's going to be a bloody fantastic thing.
6 box sets, 6 CDs.
For the one album.
And it's got all the freebies in it. What's that going to cost you? $150, $180?
I'd say. So you can get that for
Not going to sell a lot.
You can get that for me for Christmas.
That's because you haven't finished the bloody jigsaw puzzle I got you last Christmas.
No. The other thing is I don't have a CD player anymore.
Oh, you early adopter, you.
But I was going to play a DVD the other week, and that's broken as well. So I don't have a DVD player either.
I've got 2. I can lend you one.
Anyway, Spotify CEO. Now, you think the CEO of Spotify would be pretty up on the whole musical thing, he's got a bit going on there in the music world. He sparked a bit of backlash the other week on a social media post where he said the cost of creating content for Spotify is close to zero. Oddly enough, the musicians who create the X millions of songs that go on there were a little bit disappointed in that comment, saying, what do you mean? Yeah. That's next to zero. No, it's our time. Yeah, that's what I mean. Your time's worth nothing, buddy. So, yeah, a little bit of a man who's probably a little bit, I don't know, distant from what he actually does as a job. You think he'd be going, everybody works really hard to create music for Spotify and other streaming sites, and it's great to see them getting some return out of it rather than their time is worth nothing and therefore it costs them nothing to make a song, which is a bit weird.
It's unusual. I just wonder whether he's been misquoted or whether he has misspoken.
Oh, he's misspoken.
Yeah. I
love misspoken.
I know. And that's what people say when, oh, shit, I've been found out for my own idiotic opinions. Yeah. But I just wonder whether, for someone in that position of Spotify, it costs them nothing because somebody's already spent all the money doing all the work. I just wonder whether he had a thought bubble and didn't quite put a lot of effort into how it appeared to people.
I think
not trying to make an excuse for him at all.
No, well, look, let's face it. Dan's a pretty good bloke. So
I've always liked him.
I'd be surprised. One composer, Tim Preble, said music will still be valued in 100 years. Spotify won't. It will only be remembered as a bad example of a parasitic tool for extracting value from other people's music.
Tim's never been backward about coming forward, has he?
I don't think he's misspoke.
No. I think he's got a fairly clear idea of what he wants to say here.
Now, John Lennon sold a guitar. Well, he didn't sell it. I assume his estate sold it. It was a guitar that they made. They was on the album Help, and it's the guitar that actually did the work on Hey, You've Got to Hide Your Love Away. It's a 12-string guitar, a Hootenanny acoustic, not familiar with the Hootenanny brand. Anyway, it sold for $2.9 million at auction. or in fact £2.3 million at auction.
Bloody hell.
So go looking in this shed, see if you got any old John Lennon stuff floating around in there, because it could be worth a couple of bob.
I've got his undies in the wheelbarrow.
I know, but you keep sniffing though, so I don't think.
I've got a recording of Yoko Ono doing the dishes.
Oh, that'd be great.
But as she screeches them, they all crack, which is a bit of a problem. It's an expensive dishwashing exercise.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it, eh? Bit weird. Now, speaking of squealing, Ozzy Osbourne and Keith. Now, Sharon Osbourne believes that Ozzy and Rolling Stones legend Keith Richards have such longevity, they are likely to be the sole human survivors of an apocalypse.
Well, how's Keith going to do that if there's no coconut trees?
There'll be cockroaches and Keith and Ozzy. Imagine the conversations that took place in a post-apocalyptic world with Keith and Ozzy. I can't work the fucking TV.
Yeah, it's because it's not on.
Oh, fucking... Did you ever see him on... You remember the show he used
At Home with the Osbournes?
Yeah. And someone had set up this wall. There was 9 TVs in this wall, and that's, because that was how you could join them all together, or you could have them all separate, so you could have them on separate news channels or something like that. Anyway, you can never work out how to make the fucking thing work. You'd be there with the remote, fucking screaming at the remote.
God.
Anyway. So, she was pointing out she'd love to take him. She was doing a gig in London. She said, I would love to take him each time when I come over here. I'd love to bring him. But I just don't want to bring him because the cold. The cold weather is no good for people with Parkinson's. Their muscles seize up. So you could just see Ozzy getting out the front of Heathrow, just sort of slowly coming to a stop.
Sharon, when do we get to London?
Anyway, so that's it for rock news. But I look forward to the. Have you watched Fallout on the TV series called Fallout?
No, what is it about? Someone stuck in a shelter?
Yeah. So it's actually
sounds good.
It's it's kind of a humorous view of a post-apocalyptic world where it's called Fallout Boy. It was based on a computer game. It's good. It's a good series.
Oh, good.
It's actually quite good. So if you get a chance,
I like the concept. I'll have a look.
But there are big cockroaches in it. From radiation, because nuclear war. Blah,
fair
blah.
enough. How big though?
Oh,
bloody hell! That's armadillos.
Half a metre long, sort of cockroach style.
It's an armadillo.
It's a big. Well, it's a flat armadillo sort of thing. Anyway, Mick, I think we should move on and have a look at 1001 albums. 1001 albums you must hear before you die. Page 167. Rolling Stones.
Yay!
Let It Bleed from 1969. Produced by Jimmy Miller, art direction Robert Bojon and Victor Kahn. Running time 43 minutes 26 seconds, which is interesting, quite a long album. And interesting time for an album to be done. It's 1969, fairly tumultuous time in the world, Vietnam and all that sort of stuff going on. It was the time when Brian Jones was sort of at the end of his musical capabilities.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Recorded over quite a while, over quite a few months in different sessions and stuff like that. And so, what's your view on Let It Bleed, Sir?
Mate, this is yet another album in what I believe is the Rolling Stones' golden period, starting with Beggar's Banquet, going all the way through to Exile on Main Street. I don't think they did anything as good afterwards. They did the odd song, which was good, but that run of 5 albums, just absolutely stunning. It all ended in heroin-laced tears, but that's Keith.
But the thing that's really interesting about this is an album this is a true album. You're bookended by these two sort of really amazing songs.
Oh, yes, yes.
With fantastic blues, bluesy type stuff. So they've got these two songs that have got strings and choirs and singers and stuff like that, and then you've got this back to their roots blues type stuff all through the middle. It's fantastic.
It really is. I love the. But look, let's start at a different point. Normally you mention Billy Bloggs did the art direction, and unless it's Hypnosis, we don't really comment.
No, true.
But I've always liked this cover. It's back in the day when you had records and you could actually stack a bunch of records up, so you could have your whole party done on a spindle. And when it played one record, it dropped the next one down, and no damage to the wax at all,
none whatsoever.
Yeah. But so they've got a picture of one of those players, and it's got some records, and it's got a canister of recording tape from one of the sessions, and it's got some cake.
It's got a tyre.
It's got all sorts of things there. It's really, really quite interesting. Yeah, it's God knows what, every bloody thing thrown onto this spindle. So there's a very long party with some unusual sounds.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. And now, have you noticed on Apple Music now that when you go to some albums, it actually plays a little graphic of the album cover?
Oh, good.
So this, I was playing the other day, the record spins on the graphic when you're playing the record on Apple Music.
Oh, nice.
So there you go.
Yeah.
See, that's
one thing I've always found with streaming. And we've talked about this. It removes all of the media elements from music, and it's purely listening. So anything they can do to bring back the cover or some other interaction other than just passively listening, I think I'm heartily applaud it.
Yeah, okay, that's it.
Oh, that was two fingers too. That was well done.
It was quite hearty, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Quite hearty. Now, I was listening about the you can't always get what you want. And that song in particular, and I didn't even notice, but there is a French horn on the song at the beginning. And the other thing is Charlie Watts doesn't play the drums.
Is that right?
And why doesn't he play the drums? Because according to something I read, he couldn't quite get into the groove of the song. So there was another guy there who was doing engineering work for the album, who was also a drummer. He said, "Oh, let me have a go and see if I can show you what to do." And Charlie says, "Just do it, just play it." And so Charlie Watts does not appear on the song.
Isn't that amazing? I love little things like that.
And the producer was a guy who was actually on holidays from the US, who just happened to. The record company just happened to know he was in England at the time and said, "Oh, can you go over and have a look at this kind of thing?" Yeah. And they did this song first, and he's the guy who plays the French horn, and he also plays the piano on it. But it's really like the French horn. And what happened was they'd actually recorded the song. He went back to America. And he said to Keith, to the band that if you want some horns on it, send me the master over. I'll add some horns to it. So about a month later, the master of the song comes back to him. He puts some different. He could play sax, French horn, a whole bunch of stuff like that. He put some horns onto it, and when they did the final mix of the song, there's only the French horn on it. It's just the beginning, just this French horn.
Isn't that awesome? And that's so strange. It almost a hark back to the psychedelic crap that they were doing before Beggar's Banquet.
Mm.
Yeah. I like the song. I can't think of a song on this album that I don't like, but that particular song, I've read reviews of Let It Bleed, Beggar's Banquet and so on that say, following on from the psychedelic influenced stuff that they were doing, which was obviously emblematic of the many drugs that they were taking at the time, there's such a contrast between the blues of all different tinctures and that psychedelic stuff on that particular song that you got to question it, but it's a great song anyway. Yeah. And the way Jagger sings it. Yeah, I saw her today at the reception. Yeah, very restrained, very, very, very interesting. The way that and very, very contrasty to the rest of the bloody album.
He wrote that song. It was kind of like a folk song, and it was just done with the guitar.
Yep.
And then brought it into the studio, and we have what we have.
Yeah. I like the way it builds. And that acoustic, you can see he wrote it on a guitar, because that's after you get past the French horn and the choir, you got the acoustic guitar.
The other thing I learned is that Keith started to do open tuning on his guitar in this album.
Oh, right, yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, maybe because it was too difficult to tune it properly and hold a needle at the same time.
Yeah, and obviously the other thing that's in there is Country Honk, which is Honky Tonk Woman, but in a more bluesy sort of view.
Oh, yeah.
Before they did Honky Tonk Woman.
Yeah, they there's a lot been made of their inverted commas country influences, but
it's not country. It's blues.
It's California Graham Parsons country. It's not. There's no Tammy Wynette or Dolly Parton on there.
No, but I mean, it's just interesting how that song went into another album and became a different song, but it's the same song. It's essentially the same song. Yeah.
Well, precisely. Yeah. Look, the album itself, it marks the end of a period of drift for the Stones. Beggars Banquet notwithstanding, which is I've always been impressed with Beggars Banquet and never disliked Let It Bleed, but never thought about it. But then you go back and I'm always saying that this section of our podcast is fun because it forces us to go back and have a look at albums that are great, but somehow or other they've been put on the shelf in our memory. Yeah, and so this album, it marks the end of a period of drift for the Stones. Jones was about to leave, inverted commas.
He did.
In very many ways. So even if he hadn't died, he was leaving the Stones.
Yes. Right?
He was pretty much phased out of what they were doing, and he was only there because of his friendship with them. Yeah, it did mark this album marks a continuation of the glorious, and I use that word advisedly. I think it is that period that Beggars Banquet started and goes through to Exile on Main Street of the golden days of the Rolling Stones. Now there's some earlier stuff, the very straight blues influence stuff that they were doing because they were importing things from Chess Records and other records in the States. They had a contact. I've got a contact, man. He can get you everything you want. And they were themselves, the Rolling Stones, they were a hub for the putting out blues music into the English Music Society. But they did a lot of their songs, and things like Little Queenie and Carol and stuff. It was all very straight. If you drop Chuck Berry onto the stage with them, you just keep playing. So, but this is very much of a change. They became the Rolling Stones playing the Rolling Stones rather than Rolling Stones playing somebody else's blues.
Yeah.
And doing it very well, I must say.
Yeah.
But, and I don't mean that in a patronising sense, but this new stuff, Beggars Banquet, hemmed in this new stuff of playing country influence, a bit of Louisiana influence, country blues almost, that and led to their friendship with things like Graham Parsons, for instance, who's a really good friend of Richards.
Yeah.
They shared many a needle.
Yeah.
And so the album itself just sits in that block of five, which were Beggars Banquet, Let It Bleed, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. Yeah. Oh, look, my belt's come undone. You wouldn't want my trousers to fall down now, would you? And, of course, Charlie's looking all right tonight, isn't he?
And the donkey.
Yeah. What on earth a donkey's got to do with everything? That's irrelevant.
It's just bizarre, but anyway.
Yeah, through to Exile on Main Street, which is my personal favourite of all of the Rolling Stones records. I just love it. There's no standout song. There's lots of standout songs, I'd tell a lie, but there's no song individually. Each of these other 5 albums has great songs. 4 albums has great songs which you can love, and Let It Bleed does too. You know, it's how could you complain about Gimme Shelter?
Should we go and spend a month down in the French Riviera in homage to Exile on Main Street?
I think we should. There we go. It's done.
I think
we'll record a couple of episodes, and if you hear any knocking, it's just the dealer bringing some some more smack up for us.
And then we might have to make a hasty retreat when we don't pay our bills.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, this album is great. Exile on Main Street is a logical conclusion of where this album was going.
Yeah.
So, Gimme Shelter, Midnight Rambler.
Yeah.
Love in Vain. Yeah, Gimme Shelter. If for nothing else, that's where they were stabbing people at Altamont.
Yeah.
You can't always get what you want. Honky Tonk Women. The sound. Look, it retains the strong blues bass of the Stones, but it really weaves in all these other things. Their growing flirtation, look, with a dirty country sound. It wasn't Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, where's my banjo going? You know, a very dirty country sound of people in bars, either drinking too much or taking drugs, and singing songs. Not I've been awful lonesome since my horse died. Yeah. But when the album was released, it was highly acclaimed.
Right.
Which I'm sure even Rolling Stone said it was good, which really is like the pinnacle.
I think maybe they had worked out how to woo the press as well, because I think for Beggar's Banquet they actually had invited all the press to a banquet.
Wow. Good idea.
And apparently it ended up in a pie fight.
Cool.
And they got great reviews out of that.
Excellent. Well, that continued because a lot of the reviews for Let It Bleed were along the lines of a solid continuation of the return to form shown by Beggar's Banquet.
So they're still getting off on the booze they gave all the journos the previous album.
Never underestimate the value of a well-placed bottle of Plonk.
That's right. Anyway, shall we move on? Or
no, I think we should. I think we can keep talking about the Rolling Stones, but
I think
probably not.
Probably time to move on. Mick, bands that change their sound. Give us, what are you talking about there?
Look, bands do that. Some bands will keep playing, like Slade has been playing the same song since 1972, and nobody's noticed or nobody's told them, but they're making money. So happy days. Why would they change?
The Christmas song?
The Christmas song. They love the Christmas song. Yeah. And if Oasis wants to copy them, why would you change?
That's right.
But look, some artists are questing spirits who like to, want to try new things all the time.
Yep.
The artist or their management or their record label, sick of making no money.
Yeah, that's always a good start.
Yeah, that's not an ideal career choice, being poor and addicted to drugs and living in a squat.
Oh, is that Nico?
That's all of them. She wasn't poor and addicted to drugs and living in a squat.
She was living in France, wasn't she?
Well, so France is a squat.
No.
I thought you liked France.
I do. I love France.
It's not unusual for artists to change styles.
Didn't meet Nico there, though.
What did Nico ever do to you? Existed, recorded. Yeah. Look, it's important to notice that, however, many artists, if they've changed their tune, it's because they wanted to get more money, more recognition, more girls, more drugs, whatever they wanted, and they rarely do so because they're already successful in their first style. There are a couple. But not a lot.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
No, that's not it. It's and I do draw the distinction there between changing your style a lot and enough to just making each new work fresh and something a little bit different, a new development.
Mm.
Sometimes in this same theme, but a little bit of a variation, artists have to earn their dues. Now, when Jimi Hendrix started, for instance. He worked on what they called the Chitlin circuit, which is a circuit around the south of the US for black bands.
On the other side of the railway line.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So people like Little Richard, and he played in a lot of support bands where he was in a support band. He was Jimmy James playing guitar.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he played well, and occasionally he broke out and got fired. Little Richard fired him because he was too good. He used to play really well, and the audience weren't looking at no Little Richard. They were looking at the guy with the curly hair on guitar.
You can actually find some footage of Jimi Hendrix playing in those sort of little bands at the Chitlin circuit.
Yeah.
And he looks like a child.
Well, yeah.
Still tall, still lanky, but he's very, very young.
Well, he was very young. He just got out of the army. Did he go to Vietnam? Or did he just do army? He did a tour of duty. Yeah.
Did he? I can't.
No, I don't know if he went to Vietnam.
No,
I just tell
but
a lie.
he was playing. Wasn't he playing in the band like at the age of 15 or something like that?
Something like that.
I think he was. Yeah.
So yes, he was very young. He was very young indeed. Look, even the Beatles. Yeah, they started out as the Quarrymen playing skiffle. Yeah.
Which was big in the
It was
UK.
huge. They loved it.
Yeah.
And sort of went backwards and forwards across to the US and came back and varied each time. But people like Lonnie Donegan,
he was huge.
they were God.
Yeah,
he was the Elvis of the UK.
Yeah, without doubt.
Skiffle, folk, blues, bit of jazz.
Sure.
Yeah, that sort of rhythm. Their residency in Hamburg toughened them up a little bit.
It did.
But they were still playing, Love Me Do. Yeah, nothing wrong with those songs. They were great too.
No.
I really enjoyed their stuff.
They were covers though.
No, Love Me Do wasn't. And
No, but there was a lot of covers.
when they started, they did a lot of covers, and learnt their trade. And they used to do 3 shows a day in Hamburg in the nightclub area there, and they learnt to play and learnt to do it well. And but even when they started to play their own material, it was a world away of that material from things like Revolver and Rubber Soul.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and believe it or not, and one of the prime influences was the fact that they were willing to have a go at anything new, and George Martin accommodated that and enabled that in many of the cases. But drugs.
Huh? Where? In the Beatles?
Apparently. Yeah.
No.
I know McCartney has denied it. In his own autobiography, he said, there's not a lot of drug influences in the songs, but ... Yeah, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I know that they claim that it's a picture by a little kid. You play it.
I'm going to play it because this is John Lennon on the Dick Calvert show back in whenever it would have been.
Yeah, well, Dick Cavett was a major night TV host in the 60s.
Idea how much time we do have. Let me confirm quickly a couple rumors with you.
Yes.
One of them, has it ever been settled whether Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was a code for anything?
It never was, and nobody believes me. I even saw some famous star introducing, I've forgotten who it was, introducing a Lennon-McCartney show, and it was Mel Torme saying about how Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds was about LSD. This is the truth. My son came home with a drawing and showed me this strange-looking woman flying around. I said, what is it? He said, it's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And I thought, that's beautiful. I immediately wrote a song about it. The song had gone out, the whole album had been published, and somebody noticed that the letters spelt out LSD. And I had no idea about it. And, of course, after that...
So, therefore, Mick, that's the truth.
Yeah, well, if John says that it must be true, it's a bit coincidental, though, don't you think?
It is. Because he then goes on to say, I then looked at all the other songs. Lennon says, there's no other songs that look like that, have LSD in them, and I don't know why everybody's picking on this one.
Tomorrow Never Knows. The lyrics were from Timothy Leary, who was the godfather of the drug-taking revolution.
He was indeed.
Yeah, tune in, turn on, drop out.
Yep.
The lyrics from Tomorrow Never Knows were from... they were lifted from a book by Timothy Leary called The Psychedelic Experience, a manual based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead. They weren't taken straight from the Book of the Dead. Harrison confirmed that.
Yep.
And that particular song strained George Martin's technical skills, because it's I love it, and I love the 801 version of it later.
Yeah,
the Eno. Yeah.
But he's got like backward loops in there and stuff like that.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Weird shit.
But lyrics lifted from Timothy Leary are not about drugs.
No,
excuse me.
Why wouldn't they? Why would they be? Yeah. They didn't spend a whole lot of time in Rishikesh in India. Just meditating, I can assure you.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, it was just meditating, man. Rubber Soul. Look, I think Macca was being Paul McCartney was being...
Your friend Macca.
My friend Macca, yeah. Was being a bit disingenuous when he downplays the impact of drugs on the Beatles' music. Look, Ringo was quoted in the anthology documentary, which was put together by the Beatles organisation. He says, grass was really influential in a lot of our changes, especially with the writers... We were expanding in all areas of our lives, opening up to a lot of different attitudes. The songs may not be about drugs, but smoking dope certainly opened up their creative processes.
The thing is, you look at some of the stuff that when you see them in the studio, they do a lot of work in the studio. So they don't. They might go with a high level plan of what they're going to do, but they do a lot of work and they do a lot of just tinkling around. You look at the Let It Be.
They do, yes.
They tinkle around.
That's
and
impressive.
Just making shit up.
Yeah.
So you're not going to tell me they're going to be sitting there for 3 months and not have a joint, because man, it's just.
Exactly. I think I don't mind either way. I'm not condemning anybody. God damn it! A rock musician smoked a joint or took some drugs. Oh, the world's going to fall down, as if. But it's not really skiffle, is it?
No. And I was listening to this guy talking about the late 60s. The police, particularly in the US, were really clamping down on rock musos with drugs because they saw it as the evil of the world, and so they knew that rock musicians used drugs, so they used to bust them all the time. That was one of the reasons why the Stones couldn't go on tour, because Brian Jones had so many felonies.
Yeah, true.
So, you're not telling me that that the Beatles, basically the biggest band in the world, didn't now and again have a glass of Pinot and a joint.
Yeah, Pinot. Which one?
Pinot Gris, I dare say.
Because they liked wine, so they wouldn't have Grigio.
They only go French.
That's right. Yeah. But it wasn't just the Beatles. Bee Gees, another band starts with a B. Yeah, believe it or not.
Don't you put the Bee Gees down, buddy.
No, I'm not putting the Bee Gees down.
Oh, them's fighting words.
Sorry? Look, they went from a folky style three voice band, with things like New York mining disaster and Massachusetts, lovely harmonies, cute songs. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. Then they changed the label. They changed their label. They signed to RSO, Robert Stigwood, for Saturday Night Fever, right? And Barry, the eldest Gibb brother,
the only one alive.
Well, now, yes, yeah. Even their cousin was, what was his name? Andy.
Andy, he died ages ago.
Yes, he took over production because RSO wouldn't let them use their other producer, the one who was with their previous label, because he was contracted to the previous label. So RSO said, "Bugger that! No, we're not having another label's producer coming in and looking at how we do it." So we're not going to work on our artists. So they most artists change their sound for money, and so Gibbs obviously heard some of this new disco stuff that's coming along and said, we could probably do that. And the results are history. Yeah, the money that they've made, that's a lot of cocaine.
I think they were the biggest band in the world at one particular point.
Absolutely,
in time.
Yeah, they were way outselling the Beatles.
Yeah, they were massive.
Yeah, and all of them, with a constant post-nasal drip. Man.
Barnaby Joyce style.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Did you see him at the...
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Fellow.
Yeah. Bowie did the same.
You said he was very busy in that department for a while.
Who, Bowie? Oh, yeah, well, I didn't mean the same as in, went and bought up Peru, but I think he did. Well, it's recorded that when they were recording Young Americans, he wouldn't start recording until the courier arrived with the cocaine.
Got to get in the right mood.
But that's got nothing to do with why he changed his sound. He was taking drugs all the way through. I don't know if he's one of the few, I think, who just kept changing because he'd hear something new and think that's a nice idea. Yeah, let's have a go at that. When he started, it was almost English music hall stuff. You know, there's things like "Love You Till Tuesday" and "The Laughing Gnome," which is "The laughing gnome, you can't catch me." It's bloody awful. Yeah, really, really awful. But you know, it's Bowie and historical. You know, you have a listen to it. Then he moved to with these Space Oddity album, which was effectively his first real album. Things like "Signet Committee," which is a 10-minute song with lots of Dylan references and Desolation Alley and things. Mowing down the people in the way and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, real art poetry. Yeah, awful. And then he had his breakthrough with Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust. Sure. Yeah, where he started soaking up things from the Velvet Underground. Yeah, so he's constantly evolving. Every album has something new in it. Look, he was supposed to be glam. He's supposed to be one of the archetypes of one of the first people of glam. But I've always hated that title, glam. I think it's one of the bloody laziest labels that anybody's ever come up with. Someone doesn't wear denim on stage, then they're glam. They had the audacity to say Lou Reed was glam.
He was, wasn't he?
He was so anti, so anti-glam. Lou Reed was anti-everything.
That's right.
And he hated everyone.
Least of all glam.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. It's anyone who didn't wear denim, really, that's not.
No.
The Sweet is glam, because that's about all they had.
Yeah.
Did you know they're touring later this year?
I saw that.
Yeah, no,
and I thought...
if they're on tour, how are they going to know where to get their pension checks?
I'm thinking to myself, gee, wouldn't you love to see the Sweet? And then I wake up and I realised it was all a terrible dream.
I haven't seen any more ads, so maybe it was a dream. Yeah, a fever dream, horrible thing. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So Bowie changed from music hall and even Ziggy Stardust. High pitched rocky sort of thing, poppy, almost poppy type music. And then you go, he's dropped a complete octave to do Candidate on Diamond Dogs. Yeah, and Sweet Thing. And then he does Heroes. I would be king, right? Yeah, and he's completely changed his voice, his approach, the way he does everything. And that's just in the space of 6 or 7 years.
And then out comes, Let's Dance.
But
I mean, jumping onto a totally different genre.
Well, he certainly did that, yeah.
And also bringing on different fans and all that sort of stuff. So,
he did all that, and Nile Rodgers was behind that. And Nile Rodgers, we'll come back to Nile Rodgers. Yes. And Nile Rodgers was influenced by somebody else who we talk about later. But for mine, the challenge with Bowie is that I love the challenge of hearing what he was going to do, who he was, who's Mr. Chameleon this time. Is he going to be Low, or is he going to do Heroes, or is he going to do this, or is he going to do that? The challenge was hearing stuff after Scary Monsters and seeing if there was any good music on it.
I know. You just move on, mate. I don't want you. I feel like we're going to have to get a therapy session in here.
I'm still in therapy for Heathen and Reality and some of the bloody awful albums in the 80s. Yeah. Occasionally did a good song, but it stood out rather than seem as part of what he is now. I thought, there's a mistake. How'd that get through the quality control?
You want to cuddle?
What about Dylan?
Oh, God.
Yeah. When Dylan started out, he was a folkie doing Woody Guthrie stuff.
And it's funny, I just said attracting a new audience in relation
Absolutely,
to
yeah.
And he just shat on his old audience and said, fuck you, I'm doing something this, I'm doing this.
And didn't that pay off for him?
It did, but at the time, it was like the world had ended.
Well, he got booed on stage. He got spat at on stage.
What is that electric guitar doing up there?
Yeah, I really couldn't. He had things, and then he changed to Bring It All Back Home and Highway 61 Revisited. If he hadn't done that, we wouldn't have been able to froth on relentlessly about Desire.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. And he kept on going on with changing and his religious phase and God.
Well, it changed him from a star to a legend.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You like that line? Yeah. You can
I
use
do.
that. Yeah.
And get a Nobel. What do you get a Nobel Prize for? Literature.
I think he did.
Literature.
Yes. I'm not really up on my Nobels, but which is really quite interesting that he got a Nobel Prize for literature when Alfred Nobel was the inventor of dynamite, which was the topic of which was behind one of Dylan's biggest early songs, which was Masters of War.
Indeed. But you do understand that he made Nobel made a lot of money out of dynamite, and that now funds the prize.
I absolutely know it. But I think that a man who's so anti-war, i.e. Dylan, took a prize from a man who created it.
Although at the time, so many times scientists do these things in a perfectly normal way. Oh, look what this is going to do to civil engineering, and then go, oh, oops, it's called war.
Poor Mr. Oppenheimer.
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought it was not bad. Yeah, I thought it went on in some places, but overall it was pretty good.
Bit tricky to do the history of the atomic bomb as a movie. I loved it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, a lot?
A lot.
Wow, that's really putting it in a box, isn't it?
Yeah.
Margot Robbie was in that too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
I don't think they're allowed to make a movie without Margot Robbie in it these days.
I watched Barbie the other night.
Yeah. I think that could have done with a couple of atomic bombs. It would have been better.
I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was I just thought it was hilarious how the right wing of America were so anti it because it made Ken look stupid. But it didn't really, and they were boycotting it in South America. They were boycotting it.
I think that's hilarious.
It's just weird.
And they're looking for all these gay references. Gee, they wouldn't have had to look too far in the movie. But I do think it's hilarious. My son who is special needs.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about that. He thinks the songs were great, and so he wears a Ken T-shirt and a Ken headband.
I went back and picked up the song out of the Oscars. He did the song in the Oscars live.
All right.
It's fantastic.
Really?
It's really good. He's actually sitting behind Margot Robbie in the audience, and he starts singing the song and then comes up on stage. It's fantastic. I just love it.
Excellent.
I loved it. I actually really liked the movie.
I don't mind it. I thought some bits it was a bit overwrought, but in general it was very good, very well done. I think it's fairly typical with what's wrong with the world that people were having difficulty with it. It was fun.
You know who the executive producer of that movie was?
Who?
Margot Robbie.
Oh right, yeah, she's a bit of a powerhouse, isn't she?
She is now number one in Hollywood.
Yeah,
as far as a female producer and all that sort of stuff. So she's huge.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. And she's blonde.
She's blonde.
Real blonde. That's fantastic.
Good on her.
Yeah, good on her. She was in Neighbours, wasn't she?
I don't know.
She was in one of those shows.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
That's a long way from Ramsay Street.
It is a long way from Ramsay Street. Look, and she was also in
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, yes.
Yeah. Again, that's a very different type again.
That's right. When you're snorting cocaine out of a hooker's ass, that's different.
It is. Yeah. I can imagine Ken doing that.
No.
He wouldn't know what it was.
He'd have to be doing it off a plastic mound.
Well, he would. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you've chimed into Making the Fat Man Talk Movies.
Come on. Let's go. This is a music show, mate. Come on, move your ass.
Do you know what T-Rex's original name was?
No.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, how'd they come up with that?
Oh, it's unusual, isn't it? Yep. But their album, they were a folky sort of band, yeah. And they came up with albums with the names like My People Were Fair and Had Sky in Their Hair, but now they're content to wear stars on their brows.
That was the name of the album. I don't have that album.
I'll lend it to you.
Nor will I.
But then they changed it to things like simplified the name to T-Rex, changed titles to like Slider and Electric Warrior. The more dramatic change was their sound. stripped away all this bloody sitting around man, with stars in their hair, type stuff, and came up with a boogie type sound, danceable with vaguely suggestive lyrics. No, they weren't really vaguely. They were all about it.
Good.
Yes. Ride a White Swan, Hot Love, Get It On. It says this is how it's going to be. He was glam.
He was.
Yeah, because of the way he changed and went to this particular style. That was glam.
Yeah.
Covered in glitter and swinging his Les Paul. Yeah, doing Get It On.
Yep. Get it on.
Bang a gong, get it on. The lyrics are mumbled, but they're really about Get It On is not hurry up and get dressed.
Oh, isn't it?
No, it's let's examine some of these positions that we can do.
Oh,
apparently,
Mick.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Look, sometimes the change is done for commercial reasons, and it can signify a lack or a loss of quality. Often, though, it's just organic. Japan's a second tier band, if you like. But when they started out, they were, funnily enough, they were a bit glammy and a bit poppy and brash, nasal, abrasive. They did Don't Rain on My Parade with a Don't Rain on My Parade. Almost Judy Garland. Yeah, that wasn't Judy Garland, of course. That was that was David Sylvian before he decided that his voice could go down an octave and a half.
Okay.
Yeah. So they didn't sell well. They weren't doing well at all. I like some of their earlier stuff. It's fun, poppy, but same as 50 other bands.
I kind of remember them, but I don't really remember them at all, to be honest.
And then later on, they changed to they did Gentlemen Take Polaroids, and so funnily enough, I was listening to as I was driving, doing some chores this morning. I heard Oil on Canvas, which is about as different from a brash, poppy, squealing little song as anything you can imagine. Oil on Canvas, very slow, piano based, almost like Nick Cave and Colin Greenwood. Yeah.
Okay.
Doom, doom, doom. Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, wow, what a change this band.
Put it in the playlist.
Yeah, I will, absolutely. I'll put those two songs, Don't Rain on My Parade and something else in the middle of that transition, and then Oil on Canvas. It's absolutely lovely, but very, very different. And so then what's in David Sylvian, once he decided that he was so much cooler singing these slow songs with lots of mood and empathy and so on, that he'd just leave that band and he'd go and do it himself and do the soundtrack for Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Oh, did he do that?
He did indeed.
Oh, good movie.
Yep. Split Enz.
Oh, yes.
When Split Enz started, when they came bouncing out of the box out of Auckland, New Zealand,
yes,
they were atonal, really, really juddery, jerky type of sound. All very, very competent musicians, but almost with a Portsmouth Sinfonia approach of don't play it right, play it interestingly.
I know they were just weird.
Yeah, their first album was called Mental Notes, and must make a mental note. Yeah, really, really, juddery type stuff, which I guess is due to Phil Judd, who was the co-founder with Tim Finn.
That's right.
Who was Neil Finn's brother. And over time, Neil Finn joined the band. They softened, they smoothed out, they became a bit of a hit machine. With I Hope I Never and other songs.
I just spent 6 months in a leaky boat.
Bum, 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 bum.
Now, I'll just play you a little bit of Stranger Than Fiction.
From
the first album.
Great, Mental Notes, yes. Excellent.
It's a live version, but you get the idea. You'll get the idea.
Oh, goodness, someone's kicked the drums over.
This is live. It's quite interesting, isn't it?
Oh, I love them. Yeah.
That's Split Enz.
That's Split Enz. Now, funnily enough, Phil Manzanera from Roxy Music came across Split Enz and offered to produce. They'd already produced Mental Notes, and he offered to reproduce it for them. So they sat down in the studio and did Mental Notes, the album, again, and re-released it as Second Thoughts. Now, for my money, much in all as I love Manzanera's work, and I think he's a great guitarist, and he himself has done a lot of atonal stuff. Some of his really early, on the first 3 Roxy albums, which were brilliant, he did some brilliant stuff, and he was actually known for playing bum notes on stage. And he sucked the guts out of them.
Yeah.
He smoothed them out so badly that you couldn't contrast the 2 albums. Second Thoughts and Mental Notes were 2 very different albums, and the second one wasn't as good as the first.
And the cover wasn't as good either.
Well, exactly right. But then that set them on the path to True Colours and playing with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra on the album Enzo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So once you get to the point of playing with the symphony orchestra, you're not really the enfant terrible on the stage anymore.
Yes. Anyway, I liked their early stuff, and I think I've told you before. I went and saw them live at the Bondi Lifesavers.
Yep.
With Angry Anderson as the DJ.
Yeah. You got any Rowleys?
No, it was Tally-ho papers available at the bar.
Yeah, of course.
That's it. Yeah. That was the entire night. That's what he said. I said that twice.
Thanks, Angry. Yeah. Did you know the Cure were a gothic band?
No, I did. Well, they'd look. He gets a bit of a goth look to him, doesn't he?
Well, initially, what's his name? Robert Smith denies that their sound was goth. But you listen to the first album. The first album, which was, the first single rather, 10:15 on a Saturday night, which I know you love that song. You've often.
Well, I use it as a tool to say, make sure I'm in bed before 10:15 on a Saturday night.
Yeah. So the tap drips. yeah. So we'll put that one on there. But the next 3 albums, and you go 17 Seconds, which is my favourite Cure album. So gothic, So, lots of sound washes over 17 seconds is a measure of life. And that sound, that equates with a lot of the gothic bands that I've heard. Bands like Bauhaus, Sisters of Mercy.
Sure.
That's. I think it's again a bit disingenuous of Smith to say, well, no, we weren't gothic. Well, whether you intended to be or not, he was there at the start, and other bands that came after him were gothic and took elements of his sound. So there you go. He started something. So. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that because their early stuff was really interesting. They became a pop band later on.
Yeah.
And good luck to him. He made a lot of money with some nice songs and things. But those early albums, Faith, Pornography, 17 Seconds, and everybody likes a bit of pornography. Yeah.
Sure.
The Head on the Door and things like that. Yeah,
sure.
That's where they're starting to become a pop band.
Yeah.
Billy Joel.
Yes. Very interesting.
Yeah. Billy Joel was in a hard rock band in New Jersey.
There you go.
Yeah, a band called The Hassles.
Is that right?
Yeah, until they weren't making any money, as most bands don't. So he decided he lucked a gig in a bar, and so there he was, 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and the regular crowd would shuffle in.
So he was like the piano man or something.
Yeah,
like
he
that.
was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was autobiographical, that album. Yeah, and things like Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Yeah.
He's talking about his early playing, trying to forge a career. So a bit of a change from a rock band called The Hassles to Billy Joel. And later on he became
awful.
Yeah. He sort of lost that fun musical tone that he wanted. I don't know what he was after. He wanted some musical cred. But he already had it.
Some of the songs that he did very well with were just awful things. I just think, oh, God. Because he'd done so many great songs. I just think, oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I've recounted. I went to see Billy Joel on one of his first tours of Australia, and I saw him at the Opera House. I went with I think off the top of my head, I went with a friend of the program, Tim, and we were watching him there, and he sits. His band was doing something, tuning a guitar or bandy type stuff, and so he sits on the edge of the stage and looks around. He's having a bit of a chat to the audience and looks around, sees a sign that says no smoking. So he said, ha! and pulled a Gasper out and lit it. And blew smoke over the no smoking sign.
Off one to Roy and HG.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So, so he's had a couple of phases in his career, all quite dramatically different.
Yeah.
Another thing I said at the beginning was that sometimes a band or a group of people will form a band wanting to do something different right from the outset.
Yep.
And some of those, I've got a couple here, who actually create a whole new genre. There was no heavy metal before Black Sabbath.
Wasn't there?
No, Black Sabbath
They were, weren't
created heavy metal all by themselves. Led Zeppelin was hard rock.
they? Mm.
Yeah. And there were some other bands that played rock, but they were rock, whatever spin they want to put on it. Until Black Sabbath released the first album, Black Sabbath, they couldn't afford the drugs they wanted.
So they got the genre.
Yep. Somebody else might have called it heavy metal. I'm not sure where the name came from.
Yeah.
But in that one particular album, they came with a whole lot of variants of heavy metal. It was doom metal because of a slow, grindy type sound. I like Black Sabbath. I like the first 4 albums.
Yeah, me too.
I lost them. They went a bit poppy after that. For Black Sabbath. Yeah, I know that Ryan, who I've quoted a few times, who has got a Pantera tribute band, he'll disagree with me. But yeah, I think Black Sabbath went a bit lightweight after Paranoid.
Paranoid, I love.
Yeah, which is a fantastic album. But their sound was inspired by the blues, but it wasn't the blues. It was Cream and John Mayall. They were finishing as Sabbath was starting. So they went off on a completely different track. Tony Iommi and Geezer Butler and Bill, the drummer, but he was too busy being on fire.
He was on fire.
Yeah, that's right. Turned it all a lot blacker. Yeah, and they came from Birmingham, so the social scene wasn't so great. It was England in the 70s.
Dire.
England was dire, yeah. And whilst Margaret Thatcher was divisive and probably one of the most awful people to be in power in any Western country, it's probably well arguable that she set their economy back onto something reasonable.
Yeah, I'd like to find someone to really argue that with you.
Look, I don't know, but the timing is there.
Yeah.
And she's certainly. Let's talk about that. We did cover quite a bit of Margaret Thatcher on our protest movements episode, and I'm no fanboy for Margie Thatcher.
I think though one of the things we spoke about was the fact that the war was still having a massive impact on the UK economy.
Absolutely, yeah.
They were still broke from the war.
Yeah. Which 20, 30 years later. Yeah. Let's all go to war, boys. That's a good one.
It's a great idea. Yeah.
So it set an environment, the gloomy environment of Birmingham, an industrial city in the mid-north of the UK. Songs about demons stalking people, with ferocious, distorted guitar sounds playing, never heard before. Yeah. They created heavy metal, doom metal, thrash, and things like stoner rock.
Stoner rock,
man. Oh. Yeah. Well, which acknowledges the drugs right up front.
Yeah.
So, albums like this, they do create a new genre, but sometimes that's not immediately obvious. People at first it was, wow, Black Sabbath has done something, but then other younger people coming along say, I can do something like that. And then they broaden it to become a genre, a whole catalogue of music. Yeah,
then, I mean, you do the history and you realise, oh, okay, that was the first.
Yeah.
But at the time, you probably didn't know it.
Yeah, exactly. What about the Animals? Now, I mentioned the Animals that, I went and saw them recently.
Yeah, because you were saying you're such a fan.
I'm such a fan. I don't think the only one still alive is the drummer, and he's 81.
Yeah.
So, but I never realised.
Thank God he hasn't got Phil Collins' hands, though. God.
Oh, dear, yes. And Phil's not even 80.
Poor bugger.
The House of the Rising Sun.
In New Orleans.
Apparently, that's where it is. Yeah. They haven't sort of done a franchise thing. But that was 1964. And before that, they started a folk rock style. No one had, there was folk and there was folkies all the time, and then there was the Seekers and the Beach Boys and things like that. But that combining that heavy keyboards and Eric Burdon's great voice, great bluesy voice, and a song that started out as a folk song. He didn't write it. He picked it and they picked it and adapted it, and it started a whole new style of folk type songs with a substantial rock element. And who'd have thought it? Even today, I'm glad that when I found this one, it pointed it out to me that there's something new, and that's the starting point for that.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I know you love disco. And we've already talked about the Bee Gees, and mate, you were just there dancing in your underpants, and that was not a pretty sight. You were just trying to stay alive.
I disagree.
Which bit, about the pretty side or
the dancing in the undies? I thought I looked good.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I'm going to post the video on YouTube.
I think you should, yeah.
Put a link to it in the show notes.
Can you put a little one of those blackout banners over your tighty-whities?
I will not.
They were awful.
I will not.
Yeah. What about Isaac Hayes?
Yes.
Yeah. Notwithstanding his later involvement in South Park.
That's right.
With his chocolate salty balls. Theme from Shaft.
Yeah.
Which, whether you like disco or not, and there was plenty about disco to be offended by, that's a great song, that theme from Shaft. That guitar sound, that hi-hat, total guitar hi-hat playing all the not guitar hi-hat, total guitar and hi-hat playing, the sound that went on. No one had ever heard anything like that before.
No,
but they were waiting for it. That was the kickoff for that was 71, and disco was
mid-70s.
Mid-70s, 76-ish. Yeah. But that lit the wick, for the trail of.
I mean, it was a genre. Disco was a genre. It was huge, and it was incredibly mediocre.
A lot of it was, yeah. Now
superficial, anyway, sort of, yeah.
Well,
but people did very well at it, and good luck to them.
They did. It wasn't background music. Most of it. Look, there was some bloody awful disco music, but there was some strong stuff.
I think the thing
depends where you sit about where the Barry White was in the mediocre or strong stuff.
The thing that probably gets me the most is that, and you and I are both like this. You and I were such great disco dancers, and we were totally ignored. And look at Stitz and McCraw a bit.
I found my white suit the other day, with the 6-inch wide lapels.
Yeah, and we were good. We were really good. And we weren't given our dues, and hence from that point forward,
that's why we hate disco. Yeah,
down on disco.
Yep, yeah. There was no appreciation of quality.
Some of our moves,
yeah.
People would leave the dance floor so they could watch us.
Yeah. And I mean, your cover version of Patrick Hernandez's "Born to Be Alive" was shamefully wasted by the record label.
And I had stances in that song, which were like signature pieces. They were statues, weren't they?
Absolutely.
And people used to just applaud, and I don't know.
And look, Madonna wrote Vogue about your work.
She did.
Yeah.
I
don't know if that's much recommendation, really.
Like a virgin.
That's what she wrote about your work, yes.
That's right.
Let's finish up with one that you hate, and perhaps a lot of our listeners might struggle with. The Pixies. Again. Okay. Now, Pixies, abrasive sound, fast, sometimes slow, sometimes loud, sometimes quiet, sometimes.
Sure.
There's a song called Monkey Gone to Heaven, which you'll find in the playlist, which is the epitome of the quiet loud that Kurt Cobain credited as the style that he was happy to rip off from the Pixies. Soundgarden did the same. Even Bush. Do you remember the band Bush?
Not George Bush.
No, not George Bush. No. It was his wife.
Yeah,
Barbara, yeah. Now, the band Bush, they were quite good. I'll put I'll put a song from Bush in there. They were really good, and they were tapping into that grunge type of sound.
Yep.
And no one has ever given the Pixies the credit for starting grunge. And grunge is a recognisable bloody genre. Anything out of Seattle for the next 10 years was grunge or grunge flavoured.
Grunge flavoured.
Yeah.
On that note, we might leave it, mate, and go off and have a couple of grunge flavoured ice creams.
Oh, but as long as we can play Smells Like Teen Spirit while we're doing it.
Of course we can.
Jolly good.
Bye now. Well, that's a wrap, and thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free. And if you like this, tell your friends about us. Also, contact us at mickandthefatman@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks very much. See you next time.